I'm Tobias McGowan. I'm going to go and talk about the power of self-connection. This concept is really all about being fully aligned and present and deeply connected with who we are and that which matters the most to us. Because I think that more people than ever are really struggling to be connected. They're feeling detached and disconnected and distracted. So what I want to do is talk about the dynamic between being disconnected versus being fully connected with who we are in ourselves. So we can hopefully create a little bit more understanding of what we don't want versus what we do want. So let's get into it. So when we're talking about disconnection, what happens is a lot of times we become entangled. This is really the first step. Entangled means that we get wrapped up in that which doesn't really matter to us. It's the things that don't pertain to us. We get entangled in the news and in TV and social media and in conversations that really don't matter to us. So we become entangled. And this is really also a state of distraction. We're distracted. And it disconnects us from that which matters the most to us. Now, if we stay there for long enough, then all of a sudden some bad things can happen. This is really where our vibration, our energy really drops. And we become a little less conscious. And we get set up for making bad decisions. This is where eventually bad habits come from, self-sabotaging behaviors, eventually subtle addictions. Subtle addictions are like you're subtly addicted to checking your phone all the time. You're subtly addicted to checking the news or looking at social media or all these other things. But it's really hard to identify them. But you are technically subtly addicted to these things. And then if we are disconnected for long enough, then we really get into a state of being numb. And this is where full-blown addictions occur. Addictions to alcohol or substance abuse. This creates a state where we feel numb. We numb ourselves from our genuine feelings and our thoughts and who we are. So you can see this whole cascade of being entangled and detached and distracted, and disconnected, and eventually being numb. So what we want to focus on is how can we focus on being as connected as possible. And I think the first step is really asking ourselves the question is, what kind of conditions or what kind of self-imposed boundaries do we need to set in our lives to prevent these distractions and to prevent this disconnection? What I needed to do is, I just personally needed to set some boundaries around social media. I needed to set some boundaries around just screen time in general because it was disconnecting me from what I really wanted. And I'm still working on this myself, but ask yourself what kind of self-imposed boundaries do you need to set in your life out of love so that you can really stay connected. Okay, let's talk about the connection piece. So the connection piece is really when we are really present and aligned with who we are, and who we are is really logically based on our values. So if we look at that which is most important and meaningful and valuable, we want to try to have all of our actions in alignment with those values. And then we're really being connected with ourselves. This is a place where we're coming from a higher level of frequency, a higher level of consciousness. And this is a great place where we make good decisions, we start establishing good habits, we could stay focused and concentrated. In this place, all of a sudden, if we stay there long enough, all of a sudden, this is where the state of flow and grace is. This is a state where optimal creation and optimal performance happens. If you think about like a professional athlete, where they're just on fire, they're in flow. That's what's really happening. So you can really experience some of the most profound high performance states ever if you can really stay connected with yourself for long enough. I think that high performance isn't really about grinding it out, but about being in the state of flow and grace. And in order to get there, you have to be self-connected. So you can right away, you can see the power of this self-connection and how amazing it is, and how we're in alignment and embodied with who we are, we're coming from a place of inspiration as opposed to a place of desperation. So what I want to go over is how can we look at this from a practical standpoint. I think that one of the most profound questions that you can ask is, what type of routines or rituals in your daily life can you implement to stay self-connected? I think that's a huge point, is these things that you do on a daily basis that really set you up for being connected and really present and being here now. So with all of that, hopefully this shines some light on, what it is to be disconnected and entangled and distracted versus being really self-connected and present and being embodied and living true to your deepest values. So I hope this gave you some insight and some understanding, and I'll talk to you guys later. Till next time. Peace.